Matt McQueenie here with Mark Romero, to
Hello.
talk a little bit about streaming television, which is always such an interesting, fun world. It's probably 75% of my consumption. It's probably 75% of yours as well.
Yeah, it's about the same.
What do you use, Apple TV?
I use Apple TV, yeah.
You use any of the others?
No, I don't. I'm not. I don't have the whole set like you do.
How long have you been with Apple TV?
When did I get it? I think we got it as a wedding gift. So 2 years, I think.
And nothing new has come out on that front from Apple TV.
What do you
From
mean,
Apple. Apple hasn't released a new one since that time.
No, there's been nothing new yet. I'm still waiting for something.
The neat thing is that Apple has added to the app. I mean, when you originally
Oh
hooked up
yeah,
the interface.
Jeez, I don't even know. I can't even keep up with what's there. Before it was like only like a few apps. You had your Netflix, your iTunes, and Hulu. Now it's like you got all these other channels that are available for you.
Yeah, it was almost like it was almost just like a vehicle for Apple's content. Like they had the entire top pane basically.
Yeah,
it would be like their TV, their movies, the music, and it was so beautiful that you bought it. But it was funny that you pay $100 to then have the right to buy more Apple content just on a thing like that. But they did have, like you said, Netflix, and then they've gotten really better. And I think it's partially because of the Chromecasts, the Rokus, even the Amazon Fire TV. All of those guys were doing it. And so as Apple, you couldn't not have all these apps on there, like HBO Go. They've gotten Showtime Anytime, which was really cool.
right.
They've gotten, it's almost unwieldy on the Apple TV. It's like very un-Apple to have this interface that seems to go on forever with all these channels that you don't even necessarily want.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you mostly watch through that though?
Yeah, we watch through it a lot more than I do on my DVR. Like even stuff I recorded on the DVR, I'll just watch it on Hulu Plus because it's there.
Right.
Yeah, but mostly I go between Netflix and Hulu.
Yeah. The Hulu thing it seems like it's not gotten better though. It's like we end up paying a lot, and it's almost like the stepchild of primetime programming.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we have this, but you're going to watch commercials, and we're only going to have for some of them like the most 5 recent episodes, and then you're sitting there going, what the heck is the use in even having this anymore?
Yeah.
Is that it's how many times do you think about the fact that you go through do I need to pay for this month, when you're going through those periods of time where you try to cut off your expenses or cut them down to get down to to find money? And Hulu Plus is always the one that I think you always think about, because I don't know about you, but with all these apps, sometimes I could go weeks without watching an app, and I have to remember what shows I'm even watching anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like you might watch a show on Netflix, and there's no mechanism reminding you that you were watching that show unless you happen to go to Netflix.
Right. It's hard to keep up because my wife and I, we keep adding shows to our list, and I'm like, no. But then we recently got into How to Get Away with Murder, which was excellent show. We caught up with the first 4 or 5 episodes over the weekend, all on Hulu Plus, and now that just adds another show to the list. Plus, we're trying to catch up with Blacklist, and it just keeps adding up. It's like, ugh.
And then when it comes to Netflix, you're like, yes, because I can watch it without commercials.
Yes.
And then you can get through that. But the cool thing today is all these people in this space are just coming out with newer things, newer apps. I mean, I don't know if you saw FX has an app now on Apple TV. It was added to Apple TV even. It's on Apple TV, and it's on iOS devices, which you and I both have. And it'll give you like the most recent 5, maybe 7 episodes of the newest season, as long as you have authentication through your cable network. But FX has so many great shows. And so nobody has a good interface to tell you what's on. I mean, really your DVR ends up being your reminder.
Yeah.
And like you said, when we jump from DVR into the digital sphere for the on-demand services, there's nothing helping you organize your collection. It's like just a collection of apps. And then you got to go, okay, I have to jump into this app to watch this. I mean, that's one thing I think is cool with the Android kind of experience, which I got an Android tablet recently, a small one, just to kind of play around with Android. But it has like it has widgets, so you can see into the content that you have. It's not just an app face, and like an app face in in like an Apple world, they have the badge where it might be like, oh, there's 5 of something. You don't even know what those 5 things are, or they have notifications. And a lot of times I turn off all the notifications or default to not having them because they annoy me. There's nobody who's organizing it the right way.
No, that's a good point. Yeah.
And I think Roku sort of does, because Roku and I think Amazon has this this universal search feature where it won't tell you what you were just watching, but you can search for something and it'll tell you across all the apps where it's available.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's free, if it's who might have it for the cheapest. But Amazon today came out with, remember last year they came out with that Fire TV. I don't know anybody who bought it. I don't know anybody who buys anything by Amazon except services and Prime.
Yeah.
I mean, I really don't. I think sometimes if you're like a novice to technology, you might jump into Amazon because you trust them and you've bought all your stuff there the whole time and you have Prime. And then the thing they did with this Amazon Fire Stick, which came out today, it's their version of like a Chromecast or their version of a Roku stick. So it's not a little box, like a puck-shaped box like they have, but it's a dongle, those ridiculous names. And you plug the dongle into your USB port and it comes with a remote control. Doesn't have the universal search by voice, which the Amazon Fire TV had. And a issue with Amazon Fire TV is they don't have all of the apps. So they'll randomly have Showtime Anytime, but they won't have HBO Go. They won't have all the music services you come to like. And so as a consumer, especially someone who loves Apple stuff or uses it, you're almost better off just having Apple TV because you know everything will always work.
Right.
And even HBO or no, even Amazon, you can AirPlay that to your Apple TV through the Amazon Prime Video app.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of problem with AirPlay lately. It's just
really?
Every episode it'll come down like 1 or 2 times, and then it's like, sorry, playback error, and then you got to play it again, and it'll go back 10 seconds from where you're watching it. It does get annoying, and I almost think there's like a purpose to that.
Yeah.
So to get an Amazon Fire Stick, which by the way, if you're an Amazon Prime user, right now it's $19 for the next 2 days, which is kind of neat.
But the stick is $19?
Yeah, $19. It's $39 without it. So it's somewhere between the Google Chromecast, which is about $35, and the Roku stick, which is $49. So the only reason you really would get it is because you want to have a great experience around your Amazon Prime video and television and all that stuff, because they have all these functions. Since they own the content, they can kind of convey it to you really well. So apparently it's got really good scrubbing, like rewind and fast forward, which is an awful part of digital video.
It's so
annoying. Terrible thing. Sometimes you'll be watching a show and you go, all right, let's fast forward through the commercials. Yeah. That's where DVR still has you, because at least you can fast forward and it makes sense.
Yeah.
And when you're done, it'll play.
Yeah.
But how many times have you fast forwarded, you go to play, which you're hopefully in the same spot where you want it to be, and then it takes like 15 seconds to render. So you might as well have just watched the commercial. So you just decide to watch it.
I hate that.
That is the worst. So apparently they have better functions with that. And they have better, they have this thing called ASAP, where it's like they progressively download the show for you. And then they have the show downloaded based on your viewing history, what you might watch soon. So apparently they'll download the most upcoming episodes or something like that. So it'll like play really quick.
Oh.
And now Amazon Prime Video has gotten really good. Are you a Prime Video guy?
Well, we have Prime, but I just never watched the movies. Maybe because it's not on Apple TV, right?
Well, you can AirPlay it though.
You can AirPlay it from the app, yeah. But yeah, I haven't. That's just one thing I haven't taken advantage of.
I'm shocked. It's gotten so good.
Yeah.
I take it from my mom's account.
Okay.
So for whatever that's worth, but they have all The Good Wife, they have all Justified, they have their own programming, which they're doing now. And they have a lot of different shows, which even Netflix doesn't have. So they've come to rival it pretty well. I mean, I've been on a Good Wife binge. That show's really good. Really good.
You're just going to add another show to my queue.
But it's like, it's like Breaking Bad in the way that it starts a little bit nondescript. You're unsure if you're really ready to commit. And then it just gets progressively better to the point where it's as good a show, I think, as on TV. And the storylines are unbelievably good. But we've just been binging that, so I've been using that app. But
is that only on Amazon, or is it on
well, it's on Hulu Plus, but you get the commercials, you know.
Yeah.
But it's a great show. So Amazon Prime, they need to come to the Apple TV. You need to get that app. Apple needs a better way to organize these apps.
Yeah,
I
because
think.
like I'm viewing I know you joked about this before, work related, about the fold.
Yeah.
And I don't go below the fold on Apple TV.
Yeah.
I just don't scroll. I don't even know how many are down there, but yeah, I just stay above that. I just go right to the Netflix or Hulu Plus, and
Yeah.
so,
Well, you know that you can organize it
yeah,
now.
yeah.
But it really is
Man,
ridiculous.
it feels so time consuming, more than it is to organize the apps on the phone.
Yeah, it's way worse.
Yeah.
And I've really found a deterioration in AirPlay a little bit. So I almost always end up going through the TV, but again, they don't organize. I wish the way they organize the content that's Apple content, at the top, if you scroll over the Apple apps, and then they'll show like, nice covers of the different TV shows or the different movies. I wish they had something like that for this. But at $19, the Amazon Fire Stick is a pretty interesting buy. I mean, I have the Chromecast, which I like. Nobody has it fully figured out. I think Roku might have it fully figured out because they've been in the game for a long time. The founder of their company was the guy who created the DVR,
right?
Anthony Wood. So it's kind of a neat thing. And
cool.
They just get it, and they make cool features, and they've had such a jump on the competition that they were able to make deals with all these companies. There's no app they don't have. And they have Amazon Prime Instant that's always been a part of it. Roku started as a Netflix player before Netflix created their own players. Like Roku created the way to kind of watch it online when the streaming wasn't a big deal, when it was all the, by mail. By mail Netflix. So
interesting.
They were the original, and they've just been in the game, and now they have every app. They have like 1,500 apps.
Oh my gosh.
And they have a nice interface. And the Roku box, the newest one, has that cool private listening feature, which I don't know why Apple TV doesn't come out and use it on their phone, or why Amazon doesn't use it on their devices. Because with the Amazon Fire TV, you can actually use your Amazon devices similar to how we as Apple people can use AirPlay. But the private listening is amazing, at least what it looks like. You play your thing on your big TV, and then in the new remote, it has a headphone jack. Plug your headphone in, and it's called private listening. So you're able to watch the show on your big TV and listen to it.
That's pretty genius.
And so it's a really kind of neat thing. And I don't know why Apple just doesn't come out with something like that, where you can AirPlay it or you can watch it and then say, use audio on my phone so that you could listen to it. I think it's such a cool feature. That makes me want to get it. And again, they have the universal search. Roku also has a stick, $50. But the neat thing with the Amazon and the Roku stick are they give you actual remote controls, and they have an actual interface on the TV. So if you go to a screen, you can actually see it. With Chromecast, there's just a backdrop kind of screen with pictures, and there's actually some customization that they've given you the ability to do over the last couple of weeks. I think it came out, but it's like where you can have a photo album play or something, or have like a time and date, but there's no actual way to interface with the content from the Chromecast on the screen. You only do it from your phone, which is fine, but with these, they actually have an interface. So Amazon has an interface, the Roku has an interface, and apparently, so as I said, it's $39 for the Amazon, it's $39 for the stick and $19 if you're a Prime user. And the cool thing with the Prime user is you already know you have the video, and they have their own music service, which gives you 1 million free songs as part of Prime. So it's okay. It's not up against the other guys, but you can actually, that these people who pay $19 are going to access your Amazon content through there. So it's kind of really useful, but I just don't know if they're able to break the market. But the cool thing with Amazon is they're able to see that the highest selling electronic device through their site is the Chromecast. So why not just make one? And then everybody's buying that Chromecast. So if you make it around the price, and if you make Prime users the ability to buy it for almost half the price,
right? And
then Amazon, as you see, whenever they make a new product, they can put on their homepage, which is this homepage that so many people visit, or on any of the pages in the site where you go to buy something, they could put it in like a little top thing on the sidebar. They can sell the hell out of that product, and they're not doing that to Chromecast. So if Chromecast is already buying or is already selling at such a high clip, Amazon can just say, well, let's sell our own stick and let's see how many people uptake it. And then it's just another thing we're selling, and it's another way for people to get our content. So I do think it's a very interesting thing. So I think we can kind of hit it from there. I just wanted to give a quick update on that, and we'll keep it nice and sweet, short. So thanks, Mark.
Yep.